Simple question. Can you break down the meaning of the name of this book, Snakes in the Ganga? In one of your interviews, you mentioned that the name is a metaphor. Can you explain?
Yes. The name is a metaphor that says that the dangers are snakes, the people, the individuals, ideas, and institutions that threaten India with poison. This is an intellectual warfare going on, and that it's a metaphor for that poison. The snakes are a metaphor for the poisonous entities, be they ideas, individuals, or institutions. And the metaphor of Ganga is that we don't expect snakes there. We don't expect poison there. We expect it to be a safe place. So the fact that these snakes are hidden from public view is why I've used the Ganga metaphor. And that's what snakes in the Ganga means: hidden threats that threaten the integrity and sovereignty of India.
Now, the last book you wrote, or the first in what can be loosely called perhaps is a prequel to this one, was called Breaking India. Now, I want to ask you, are there new dangers compared to the ones discussed in your earlier classic book, written over a decade ago? Are the forces in some way, and we need to be a little more specific, when you say breaking India, in what manner do you mean that there are apparent forces at work to annihilate the nation?
So the earlier book was focusing on breaking India forces like the global church and Dravidianists and so on. Now, those haven't gone away, but the new book talks about this whole woke is critical caste theory, the whole idea of breaking India according to the latest fashionable left-wing global discourse. And the center of this is Harvard University, which is what we demonstrate in this book. And there are many, many centers studying India from a point of view of South Asia studies, humanities, even public health. And some of this money is being funded by Indian billionaires. We point that out also. So Harvard is the latest. It's like Oxford was during the East India Company. Oxford was providing the brain power and developing these policies and theories and a whole lot of dirt on India. And then this would affect the parliament. Same way, Harvard produces the knowledge which is sent back to India, to various Indian places from where it's disseminated, various legal campaigns, various PR campaigns against India, and also training government officials, feeding the US Congress, feeding the US Senate, and feeding the human rights establishments all over the world, the BBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post. Harvard is sort of what I call the nest of snakes, from where a very large population of such people and ideas have been developed. And we give, this is a 900-page book, and we give a detailed account with a lot of evidence and a lot of testimony from all sorts of people. Most of the things we are quoting are from Harvard's own sources. Their websites, their YouTubes, their dissertations are full of this anti-India and Hindu-phobic rhetoric, and we are basically compiling that and giving a whole theory of why they're doing it, where it's coming from, what is their goal, and who's funding it.
Harvard is a very credible institution, Mr. Malhotra. Why would they be invested in wanting to dismantle India specifically? And what is this evidence that you're talking about? Can you elaborate? Because this is a very serious charge.
Yeah, it is a very serious charge, and I don't take it lightly. And I am more than happy to be cross-examined and to give out more details than we published, because we published maybe just the tip of the iceberg. But Harvard is not dismantling India only. It is dismantling. There is a whole thesis which has come out from the extreme left of the Democratic Party. Now it's taken over the Democratic Party. But this thesis is actually older. And, I've supported the Democrats most of my life, and I know all these candidates, and I've funded them. But I'm very embarrassed to say that they've let me down. And under the name of liberal, they've gone into what is called critical race theory. And critical race theory has been mapped onto India, where they say that the Dalits are the blacks of India, the Brahmins and upper caste are the whites of India. And so the American race theory, American history of racism, is now being projected to understand and interpret India. This is all over the place. This is, you cannot, if you know anyone at Harvard who takes courses in humanities and social sciences, this is what they are teaching.